Shalom, and welcome to Top 9 Podcast. My name's Tommy Weintraub, joined by my co-host, Adele Carollo.
Still Italian over here.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, I thought about changing my name to Tommy Weintraub when I moved to New York.
Really? Why?
Because my name's Tom Cassidy, and, Irish people do okay in this business, but, like,
Jews
if I
do
just,
good.
yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg's the #1 example of that.
Sure. Yeah.
Black lady, and
Proof
it's like,
in case, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Ari Shaffir is with us today.
Yeah.
Thank you. We had a good few minutes of podcast that we didn't, that is
Press
not being
record on.
recorded. But that was my fault.
We only go on an hour. It's good Patreon stuff if you recorded it.
Yeah. I recorded it on my phone, but it was just about how this is a homework podcast.
Yeah, nobody wants a homework podcast.
Yes, but we blamed Adele.
It's like a good idea. If prepare this thing, it'll be really fun. It's like, yeah, if everyone had a lot of time.
Sure.
Those are really good.
I literally was like, if you want to come at 2:15 and write your list, he's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, what the hell? What are you talking about?
It's like
we got the
this
studio for an hour.
It's like these book shows that people go like, we want you there like an hour ahead of time. And you're like, no. What time's my spot? I won't even be there at the show time.
I know you like to prepare. I don't know.
I did prepare.
You're a good
Yeah.
preparer.
Ari, what's your top 9 today?
Well, Adele was trying to fucking siphon me off into some fucking hack bullshit.
No, I was not. I was trying to make it easier.
So she gave
to
you
do
a
your
shitty
homework.
description of the podcast, and then
I was trying to do your homework for you a little
I know.
bit.
Yeah, you had no respect for me. You had no respect for me. This is what happens a lot of times when you book. And I get it. I'm a get for this podcast.
you are.
I'm a get, and so you bend over backwards instead of actually saying like, "Here's the deal. I did it for this not happening for my storytelling show." You get a big comic, and you want to be like, "Whatever, man." But you want to be like, "Hey, man." So think of a story ahead of time. Really think of one that you tell at parties and stuff like that. Do that on stage. Really think of something though, because otherwise you bend over backwards for them to do it, and then they don't fucking accomplish it when you're giving the same notes to some fucking nobody, so he can succeed.
I'm not as strict as you, Ari. You
And then we feel like we have to walk around eggshells, walk on eggshells around you.
Top 9 Jews, you could just do anything, whatever. No. So anyway, I'm not doing top 9 Jews.
I fucking just did research on Jews all day for nothing.
It's not for
my
nothing.
Goodness.
It'll come in handy for one of these.
It's not for nothing. I love
What am I
that.
shook
It's not for nothing.
Did all that? No, I love the Jews.
You did a bunch of research on Jews?
Yeah.
I had
Okay.
my
I
favorites.
collected a
yeah.
list.
Okay. Well, that will come in handy for one of these.
Sure, absolutely. I would think so. So what is your top 9 today?
Top 9 genocides.
I love it.
Okay.
Oh, my
Now, this
Lord.
I am passionate about. I was thinking about like top 9 Jews. Then I was like, I also thought about doing top 9 nines. 9 from the Borg, and then the 9 weeks in Judaism. And then I was like, I got to research this. So I'm like, meh.
Now that's a homework.
I was
Wow.
thinking
The
of
number
girls
9?
that are almost tens.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one.
That'd be a
Top
good one,
9 nines.
too.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Kate Beckinsale. That
Like
kind
right
of like
there,
a 9.
you
Yeah.
almost had it.
Yeah, it would be a
Or
little
they're
little
losing
lighter.
it because of their age, so they were a 10, now they're a 9.
No, they're not. Yeah, I don't think anyone's a 10. I think that's a ridiculous
Fuck
number.
up. Like, you're too judgmental then.
No, 10 is perfection. That means a 10
Fair.
goes, you ask that girl, can anything be better on you? And she'll be like, no.
Or you feel that way.
Yeah, my toenail's off a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barbara Streisand.
No, that's a fucking 5. In her prime. That's a prime 5, maybe 6.
Sorry, I still have that residual Jew list in my head.
She's gross.
Okay.
Genocides.
All right.
Sad.
So it's not raindrops and roses and
No. I'll
whiskers
start
on
with-
kittens.
I'll
Coming in
s-
at number 9.
I'll just go honorable mentions real quick.
Okay.
The Indians, Native Americans.
How does that not make the list?
Okay, I'll tell you why. Because it was split up over a bunch of different people. Spanish, French, English. So it's tough to say it's one group trying to annihilate them
Yeah,
when
but-
multiple different groups came in.
Different directions, yeah.
Number 10, just out of the top 9, the California genocide of the Amerindians.
Okay, I don't know about this.
It's just the California version of American Indians.
Okay.
So
They
that's
were there
as
first.
big as that was. Forget about the Texas, forget about all the other ones. But it's different groups, so you can't include them.
So the Indians are left off this list, much like they are left off of history in general.
Uh-huh.
So before we get into it, what is your what makes a good genocide to you?
Okay, I'm glad you asked, Tom.
Sure.
1, it's completion of task.
Okay.
Okay? So you set out to do something, did you achieve it? That's one possible scenario.
Sure.
2, obviously, total numbers.
Numbers are big in it.
Brutality, thinking outside the box, which includes like medical experiments, shit like that.
Psychological.
Psychological, yeah, lasting impact is something. So that's why also the Native American ones no one cares about them. They did their job to the point where no one's even thinking about it. But maybe that's wrong.
I think that's an argument to it being number
Yeah,
one.
you're right. It should be higher. I don't know why. It just didn't get on I even looked at
No, it's a very American of you.
Yeah.
I think it's good that you kept it off.
Wikipedia's top genocides. It wasn't even on there.
Unbelievable.
The Amerindian genocide of California was on there.
Mm-hmm.
I would think all natives. It does go to my number 9, but I'll also say Rwandan was a nice one. It was number 11. And
listen, we can't. We don't have time for all of these ones that
just
didn't make
it's
the
popular.
list.
And the genocide of Acholi and Longo by Idi Amin. That's Uganda. That's what they were going to give Israel. That place. We're doing another genocide just 20 years later.
Sometimes when someone has a name like Jeeves is a butler, Idi Amin,
Idi
it's
Amin.
like you're gonna kill a bunch of people probably.
Where else are we going to go with that?
Yeah, that's not his fault.
The best one is Charles Taylor.
Who's
in
that?
Liberia.
Okay.
Fucking just despot and fucking normal last name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could feel it
okay.
though too a little bit.
Yeah, not in the name though. Professor Butt Naked or General Butt Naked in his army was great.
All right, I feel like this is going to be a very informative list.
Let's go.
Coming in at number 9.
Queensland Aboriginal genocide.
Tell us about it.
Well, probably close to 50% of the Aboriginal population was killed during this.
Okay.
Now, this is what's interesting to me. They split it up. This is only Queensland. There's only one region of Australia. I would think, same with the American Indian, just total killed, right? But Tasmanian, black, what do they call it? The Black War of Tasmania, different one. Not
Okay.
even included. That's how powerful this one is.
This is what they have to apologize for any like fun activities, right?
Now, before they do anything?
Yeah.
I mean, they made him walk the plank in a lot of places. That might have been Tasmania. It might be like, getting the abos together.
Yeah. So these are just the Aboriginal people that were sent to Australia, and then they were explain this to me because
They
I
were in
don't.
Australia
Aboriginal people,
first.
yeah, they were there.
They were the people.
They were the
Okay, so it's
OGs.
the Indian
indigenous,
effect.
The indigenous.
Yes.
They made them go
yes.
towards the middle, right?
And then
it was
we-
like, bounce, go in the middle. We're gonna be by the beach.
That's what I meant.
Right. So some of them were in the middle. Some of them were in Tasmania. They were all over. A few were in the middle by the rock. I forget the name of the rock.
What year is this
mean,
around?
Man.
I don't know.
Okay.
I should look that up.
It
Some of
wasn't
these
that
I put
long
years
ago.
up. It wasn't that long ago because they sent their fucking prisoners there, and they're like, well, these are the worst of the worst who cannot live in England, but let's get rid of the fucking, the weeds
How many times can you get somebody to walk off a plank though?
before it's either that. I think they're poking at him with
That's
the
some
sword.
psychological warfare there.
Shark-infested waters. It's also the way you dispose of the bodies. I think is interesting.
Yeah.
So like Franco, which did not make my list. Franco killed a lot of people in Spain.
Okay.
He took them up in fucking planes, cargo planes, threw them out over the ocean. No bodies, no
That
nothing.
correlates
no mass
with the
graves.
numbers thing too, because the mass bodies, you got to get creative with that.
Get
shit.
creativity of murder. I
Yeah.
think is
Yeah. Very smart, very effective to drop bodies into the ocean.
Yeah, they'll
Bye.
never be found. That's what we did with Osama bin Laden. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly, and nobody saw a fucking picture. Not even a picture. Not even now.
Yeah. How would they not? Yeah.
I feel like he just died, and then they found intel that he died. They killed everyone who knew, and then that was it.
But why do that? I guess. What's the reasoning behind it?
They're like, we don't want him to be a martyr. I'm like, so you think not having a body would make him
Isn't that more? It's like Jesus.
not a picture of him dead?
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to incite these people more, but I can see a lot of people going like, no, let's throw it in their face.
Before we get to number 8,
Yeah.
because a lot of this stuff you're gonna just tell me, and I'm gonna feel like an idiot. So like, do you think if you
History's
dump
written by the survivors? Yeah.
bodies into the ocean, right?
Yeah.
Do you think there's like a good ecological effect on that? Like, will the fish eat your body? Like, do you think that's good for the ocean? Dead bodies?
Depends. I mean, if you're naked, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Naked body,
Good point.
100%.
Don't wear your sneakers. is all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
sneaker, plastics, stuff like that. We
Okay,
don't
yeah.
need that. We don't need more of that in the ocean, especially the deep ocean. That's
Naked
how that island
bodies,
is made.
sure. Fish
Naked
bait.
bodies.
I assume if you're dumping a body out of a plane, it's probably naked.
You think so?
I don't know.
You think they take him, make him strip off all the clothes and keep the clothes?
I mean, that's
another-
one of the most excruciating stories about the Holocaust. The shoes, how they took them
The
off so
shoes.
it didn't smell like
That was the
rubber
tough
when
part,
they were
yeah.
burning them.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm saying,
Hey,
so yeah,
you're
they
burying the lead, honey. Take it easy.
No, I'm saying jumping out of planes.
It will be on the list.
Yes, of course it will. Coming in at number 8.
Come on, number 8. The Armenian genocide. I think would be higher except for two factors. One, You named yourself the Holocaust, and I've said this before. You'll never be number one Holocaust.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing to choose when the Holocaust is already there. If you had pre-done it, Holocaust, and then Jews came and took it, you'd be like, oh, it's unfair. They took it from us. But you named it after the Holocaust.
You should have named it the Holocaust too.
Could have gone Holocaust too.
Yeah.
Could have gone Holocaust too.
It's like Kobe with 24, Jordan 23.
Yeah, right after him. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was Iverson?
3.
Better than both of them.
So wait, when you say these things, when you set them up, can you try to explain what the fuck happened other than the fact that it's a genocide?
The Turks came in, and I was going to name this the Turkish Holocaust because they were the ones in charge here. You're right. We should set it up. They did not like the Armenians, okay, for 2 reasons. One, lack of creativity, i.e. the Armenian Holocaust. 2, they're really terrible people. They're really just the worst of the worst. I know 2 Armenians, 3 actually. 2 are named Sam, and they are comedians. Another one is Christine Okerson, a friend of mine's wife, and they're both really disgusting. And I try to bury the fact that they are Armenian. It's hard for me. It's hard. They're not. They're like lesser than Arabs. They're lower on the totem pole than Palestinians.
I heard about the Armenian genocide first from the Kardashians.
From the Kardashians,
Yeah,
they're
they
the
brought
best
it
of the
to
best.
light.
They're the best of the best. That's not natural though. What they're doing.
A lot of people were killed.
So the Turks hated them, and they carried out a not a ritual, but a systematic extermination of them in Turkey.
in like a short time, right? Like,
Yeah,
ran through.
90% of the Armenians in the Ottoman Empire were killed.
Wow.
90%. Now, they only had control over that country, but 90%. That is fucking...
That is a bad fucking day when we wake up and be Armenian.
90%. You're down to 10% of your population in that country. I mean, you've done your job, Turks.
Yeah.
You did your job.
That's way better numbers than the previous one, 50%.
Yeah.
90%. I mean, yeah, it's almost like kind of like scary of like when you leave just a little bit around.
Right.
Because like that's
Tell the rest.
Yeah.
How did those people get out?
But with the Turks, so they won. But what did they win? Were they happy? Like that
There's
there was
less
less Armenians? That was total goal achieved.
That's a good question.
It.
What is the goal achieved for? Is it revenge? Is it
practice? Land or
Yeah,
property?
right.
Is it?
I think with genocides, it's really just we hate them, their existence, right?
That's I mean, just in its
Unreasonable evil.
Yeah, they're not seeing it that way. They're doing the right thing to them, right?
Yeah, totally.
everybody comes to love in different ways, just like people come to genocides in different ways. There's always different reasons and reasoning behind it, but yes, the goal is to kill as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And if it's not, why are you in the genocide game? It has to be that.
You know why Native Americans might not have been included? I think disease took care of most of it, and so that wasn't like an intentional move, except for the smallpox part.
But I would even push back on that. We gave them those diseases.
I know, but it wasn't like a genocide. No more than COVID was any sort of genocide. It was even the smallpox version on the blankets. Sure, that's it's just like, oh shit, since the Black Plague was not genocide.
You need a level of savage to be a genocide.
Yeah, it has to be on purpose.
On purpose.
You know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, coming in at number 7, top 9 genocides, Ari Shaffir.
Okay. The Rohingya genocide in Myanmar. Now, this is the first one where I have visited there. Actually, no, I guess Queensland. I went to Queensland. I've been to a lot of these places.
Now, when you call your TripAdvisor,
yeah,
are you like, listen,
that is a new. You know how 23andMe is making is what's it called? Tourism.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Biological tourism. No.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, if it's not called that, it could be
something like that. It's I don't know, cultural tourism. Should be like,
Tracing back.
Yeah, I'm 1% Irish. I'm gonna go to Ireland and visit my roots.
Yeah, it's like my mom in the 90s, the real Kramer did like a Seinfeld tour.
She went on it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to my mom. She got her hip surgery today. We love you, hun.
Hi.
Now you're a hipster.
But you could do your version of that. Yeah.
Yeah, genocide tourism.
So take us through.
Okay, so this one's interesting because it is...
smile when he said it.
This was interesting because it's 2017 to present. Now, I was there in January of 2017, directly before this. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. You are not allowed to visit the Shah state. That is where it's happening in Myanmar. Myanmar is a new name for Burma. They were getting a bad rap, so they just renamed their country. They changed the capital, renamed their country to Myanmar.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, smart move.
Could you feel it in the air when you were there?
No. So they don't really let you go to the Shah State as a tourist, as an outsider. We went once because it was this 13-hour bus ride. It took you all the way around left, 17 hours, all the way to the west, then up slightly, then all the way to the right. And me and my friends looked and were like, we can just go. There's a road that goes up. We can take mini buses up, and it's about 4 or 5 hours. Let's sleep somewhere in between, visit a country that's off the beaten path, get off the bus. We're like, let's look for a place, see a hotel. We're like, can we stay here? They just stared at us. And we're like, a place to sleep? We learned the words for that. They just stared. And we're like, what the fuck? And then somebody picks up a phone and just like is talking to somebody in Burmese. And 3 guys just staring at us. 4 of us. 3 white dudes and a black dude. And they're just staring. And then
I'm never staying at this Hyatt again.
Oh my God. Some dude comes running in, right? Sprinting, running it, stops cold, sees the stairs, and then like goes over to the phone, takes the phone from him, and then picks it up, makes a call, and then just reaches it out to us. And we're like, okay. Because they were like, what's going on? Do we get a room? I'm like, I don't know. They're just staring. And then I get the phone. They're like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm here to stay at this hotel. Who's this? They're like, well, I'm in the capital. Or the big city, Yangon, and Rangoon, and she was like, "You can't stay there," and I'm like, "What do you mean? There's no foreigners. You can't stay in this town." I'm like, "Well, the bus drove us through." She goes, "You got to turn around." I'm like, "No way. The next bus is going north. We're going north." She goes, "There's a bus going south. Take that." And we're like, "No, what do you mean? No foreigners allowed to stay there?" Because that's where some of the extermination's happening in Shah State. Foreigners can't sleep. We had to get a special dispensation to stay. We got walked out.
You did stay?
Yeah, we had the local minister made it like he was like, "I'll sign this for you because they're Buddhists and they're real helpful." They're like, "We see you guys are travelers and lost." Because like, "Can I stay at a monastery?" And they're like, "No, you have to go." And so he's like,
bounce.
"Yeah." So he's like,
What are you,
"Another
Doctor Strange? Going to fucking.
So he goes, "Another hotel's letting you stay there." She goes, "He's doing you a favor. He's not supposed to allow this. Don't be an asshole about it." And so we were like walking around being assholes, and we went near like a military base, and 4 guys came out with like machine guns, and they're like, "What are you guys doing here?" They're like, "We're just tourists. Like, where's your passports?" And they're like, "Back at our hotel." Like, "Let's go find those passports." And they fucking walked us back by machine gun to our hotel. We got that dude in trouble. He's probably dead.
Oh my goodness! Sorry, I knew when you go and on your things you do some adventuring, but come on, I didn't know you were in danger. I'm gonna be more worried when you say goodbye now.
Yeah.
On your next adventure.
Is that the closest you've come to dying? Like, okay.
No. They were pushing us around. I don't think they were going to kill an American,
Yeah.
but they were like, "Let us know we were not welcome there." So that one's an interesting one because it's 2017 to present.
Oh.
It's
Still
still going on.
Yeah.
You got to put something that's going on right now.
Absolutely. No, you got to stay current because people
gotta.
are so focused on the past.
Yeah.
It's enough already.
Yeah.
I get it. Sam Kinison was funny. Coming in at number
the population
6.
in 2015 of the Rohingya was 1.3 million people. 100,000 people remain.
Oh my goodness!
The rest were killed
and
or
counting
fled.
Down
Or fled. 900,000 people fled.
So yeah, that's more than 90%. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
then maybe, but it's
Okay.
still another 90%er type shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 6.
Number 6. I couldn't ignore the French, so
Toi.
Affaire le tableau in the Congo. 40% of Eastern Congo's pygmies were killed.
French can't do anything right.
Low numbers.
40%.
Pygmies too. Am I not knowing what pygmies are?
Aren't they
In the Congo, I imagine they're very nice people. Oh, pig.
Aren't they the little ones?
Are pygmies the... Hold on, man. I don't like doing this, but I got to do it right now. To me, pygmies are the people that are like the movie Powder.
Pygmy? Oh.
Oh.
Really?
I thought they're like white people.
Albanian?
Like super white. But
Super
it could be
white
if
in
it's in the
Congo?
That's the wrong word.
jungles.
What's the word?
P-Y. P-Y-G-M-Y.
There's also a goat named Pygmy.
Pygmy goat. Oh, maybe it's because it's white. But not small.
Pygmy.
But in the Congo, what are they doing? Minding their own business, living in fucking tree huts. Like, let them
they're just
live. They have their
African
own language. They have their
looking.
own fucking
What do we got?
society.
What do we got? What are they?
I mean, they're just like African-looking
Are they
people.
Not
smaller?
many. I know you want to believe that these are
pygmies
mini.
small?
They're like this.
Well, they don't seem small.
Yeah, they just look like they're on the wire.
So what did the French want with them? What do they want in their Congo?
I think they wanted control of it back.
And when was this?
I don't know. Let's see.
Can you name the resistance again? What was? I mean, I'm sorry. What it was called? Not the resistance.
less than. Okay. Rainforest hunter-gatherer populations around the globe that share heights of less than 5 feet tall.
Oh.
It's genetics.
Shorties.
Well, people just shit on French people. It's like, the dad shitting on the mom, shitting on the kid, shitting on the dog.
Yeah.
Like, French people are just like, we got to find someone to pick on.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
exactly. Who are they going to get with their fucking tiny swords?
Yep.
Yeah,
So it's got to be
weaklings.
small people in the jungle. God damn. Can you say what
Pick
that was
on
called
someone
again?
your own size, French people.
Effacer la table.
Oh, that was hot.
I wonder why it's called that.
I don't know, but it is a beautiful language.
It's beautiful.
It is the
It's
nicest
gorgeous.
sounding
Yeah.
mass extortion
Yeah.
of people so far on the list.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'll put the times.
list up?
No,
No, the
on the
dates.
list I do the graphics,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I'll put the dates.
Put the dates for
That
sure.
is very important.
It
Because
is.
like sometimes I'm not sure if it was like because the last one is now.
Yeah.
Then I don't know if it's like 100, 200 years ago or like
Let's look.
something like
I feel
that.
like most of his list, sadly, is at least in the last 100 years.
I mean, most of them. It's hard.
Now,
Wow.
when you went to this one, what did you do? Did you get a baguette?
I didn't go to this
Okay.
one. Start date October 2002.
Okay, very recent.
Wow, that's very recent.
What the fuck? What really?
I think
That can't be right.
I don't think it's the actual French. I think French. It's a French colony, so they speak French there now.
Okay.
It's the Democratic by the rebel forces in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. It was by their own.
Okay.
So recently they were like, these pygmies, man, they're getting out of line.
Okay. So it was their people did it to them.
Wow. 60 to 70,000 deaths. 40% of the Eastern Congo's pygmy population. That's a big number. Those pale in comparison to these other 90% numbers. That you get over 5%. That's a massive amount.
It's crazy.
Game changer.
Game changer. What was COVID? How many COVID deaths were there total by the liberal estimates?
I have no idea.
200,000?
I thought it was way
No,
more than
no,
that.
way
I thought
more.
it was
You're
like
crazy.
3 million or something.
Yeah.
What? Deaths?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey, it was a pretty big deal, hon.
3 million out of what 300 million plus people we have.
Yeah.
So we're talking about 1%, and it's a massive thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's not guided. It's not intentional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this changes the history of their people.
You get
I'm
5%?
consuming so much knowledge right now. What was the percentage on this again? Repeat it for me.
40%.
40%. Okay, yeah.
That's a
lot.
massive win for these Congolese.
Yep, absolutely.
And when did
Trudeau's-
it end? How long did it last?
Let's see here. Wikipedia. Start date 2002. It might still be going. Let's see.
Some of these things that last.
No, to January 2003. God damn.
Trudeau actually
Short
doing
and swift.
blackface ended it.
Oh, wow.
And
yeah,
people
maybe.
don't talk about that. enough.
Oh, my God. So here's the attack type. Oh, we got to go more into this. I thought you'd have a computer to look
Tactile.
these up.
Yeah, you would think.
Genocidal massacre, ethnic cleansing, cannibalism,
Oh,
That's why they were doing it?
and war rape.
Wait, they
Well-
were eating these people?
Yeah.
Holy
Cannibalism.
shit, dude.
and
Man, you-
raping their women. Right.
Jean-Pierre Bemba would let it. Wow. Territorial Council of North Kivu. North Kivu, the Ituri Rainforest, Democratic Republic of Congo. Wow, wow, wow.
Dude,
Horrific.
eating someone really, it's got to change you, right?
It's got to change you.
Yeah, it's got to be. Especially just like if you kill them yourself too. I guess that's generally how it would happen.
Yeah.
I feel like some cultures think it gives you like power, strength.
I think it
Probably
does.
does.
Yeah, they
Fair enough.
reinstituted in
Especially if you kill them, right? It's like full circle.
yeah.
Just like
Well, like if
really
we have a
taking
soul,
their
it's like you're
lives.
eating a piece of their soul almost.
Would you do it?
Nah,
No.
I don't think so.
To survive, would you do it, Tom? Like you're gonna die, you need some protein.
These
in
are
your life?
like, this is you don't know until you are
So you know.
in that situation.
You can't put yourself in a place. And try
I
to
really
Yeah.
don't think I could do it.
life or death. Like you're gonna die.
I like living, so yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd eat.
Okay.
Ari.
Oh, life or death for sure. But also if it was on a nice restaurant menu. Like well prepared. Not street food. Not some fucking, hutong. Fucking
Well, dude, you
Well,
can't do that halfway. Yeah, no, you can't go to IHOP
fusion.
for that.
Fusion?
It's got to be like high class, like
Yeah.
Upper
Like
West
sashimi.
Side. Fucking
Sashimi brain or something.
That might be tough.
yeah. I mean, probably depending on who you're eating. Coming in at number 5.
Number 5, another place I went to and discovered this, to learn about the history, is Timor-Leste, East Timor, one of my favorite countries in the world.
Okay. What do you like about it?
It's off the map. It's really not mapped out at all. It's a new country. It became a country in 1999. Got independence from Indonesia. Led to this genocide. Their independence. It was a colony of the Dutch. Dutch were actually pretty cool colonizers. Just went for coffee. Was like, you guys can have your rights. And then eventually they're like, we're going to give you your freedom back. And then Indonesia at that point we're moving in. And they ruled them for a while until they're like, we want to be a free country.
Yeah.
And then they just started murdering people. Destroying all the roads. They would, as they left, when they were fucking driven out eventually, they would take jackhammers to all the roads to completely destroy the infrastructure.
Damn, that's fucking...
It's fucked up. But there's all these movies and videos you can see, which I did in the local in Dili, the capital. There's like a war remnants museum type of thing, like they have in Vietnam, but there, and they showed videos of them running through these gravestones, they were through a cemetery, and they're just gunning them down in cemeteries. Ooh.
So the people that lived were there first would ruin the
Indonesians on their way out.
So it's like when someone asks for food, you lick it first. You're like, fine, take it. Like they just ruin. Like, fine, ruin. You want it? Yeah. Take it.
They do. The Israelis did that too on the way out of Suez and stuff like that. They're like, well, we're burning everything we've made. Yeah. We can't have the buildings we made.
So wait, is this another example of the Dutch gave these people their freedom, and then Indonesia came in and they were like, fuck that, we're taking it.
Same thing we did with Vietnam.
Okay.
The French got out. The French got out, and then we were like, very shortly after, we're like, oh, power vacuum? Let's get in there.
Yeah, no more protection, or it's not someone. They were like open, free range at that point. Right?
Man.
They can't really defend themselves, although Vietnamese did.
I wonder how much time they had of oh, this is cool.
This is nice.
Yeah. Probably fucking a year maybe.
Yeah.
Because even that, I mean, in time, that's not that long. But yeah, that's fucked up. But gorgeous then it eventually led...
Great coffee beans. The last natural organic coffee bean population in the world. It just grows wildly. And so if somebody offers you coffee, you're like, no thanks. They're like, Timor coffee. And you're like, oh, well, yeah, then of course I'll take it.
Damn, yeah, I got to try that.
Yeah, they do have a lot of instant, but they have Timorese coffee, and it is awesome.
My socks get knocked off from Puerto Rican coffee, so I can't even imagine what this Timor stuff does.
Yeah, it's probably pretty great. Oops.
Idi Amin just texted Ari.
You got a lot of the facts wrong.
Yeah, the bug in the room.
40% of total population of East Timor killed. It wasn't a ethnic cleansing. It was a population cleansing. We want to kill all of them.
And that's
so the rebellion stayed way up in the mountains of I forgot. I went up there. And a lot of them died of scurvy and disease from being in the mountains just near on the mountains.
Yeah, where they're not supposed to live in the habitat.
They got a lot of malaria that happened in Rohingya. Also, they got a lot of. They had to push to these malaria-rich places, and they died from disease they got from running. So that happened. But what's his name? What's his name? He's so cool. General. He defeated him. He was a war general and defeated him. Then he became a leader for a while. They had a lot of infighting, and then eventually they settled that too.
So wait a minute. The general beat the Indonesians?
The Indonesians out, yeah.
And then did he take over the country?
He took over. They elected him.
And then that was a hero.
The two sides after that, liberal and conservative, all they knew was war. Yeah. And so the way to beat each other is through war. So then they started infighting. They had civil war for a while, but that all ended in 2006.
Come on, guys. Stop fighting already.
After 2006, it became illegal to mention someone else's political stance.
Good, yeah.
So, if you walked into a bar...
peace.
And be like, oh, this guy's from the fucking north. They'd be like, you're going to jail for even saying that. We don't want trouble.
It's one way to do it, yeah. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Drink your beer.
We should have that here.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting.
How do you vote? Dude, report him for asking. Well, we can't handle that.
You heard of separation of church and state. That's like separation of state from state.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, you should. Like it. Yeah, I like it too. Why? It's so boring too. Anyway.
They're all fine with Indonesia now, and they do speak Bahasa in a lot of East Timor.
Yeah.
It's either Bahasa, which is the Indonesian language, a little bit of Dutch, or Tetum, which is their language. So everybody speaks Tetum, but a lot of people speak generally Bahasa.
What year were you there?
I was there in 2017 as well.
Okay.
And it's just glorious. Unmapped, roads are terrible, so it's an adventure going anywhere you're going. Oh my God, what fun times.
coming. Do you think the roads are fucked up from when they fucked up the roads?
Oh yeah, no. There's a big thing is like when they have a little bit of oil, it will run out. They know that, so they're like trying to get shit done until then and trying to like revamp the whole system, learn how to grow vegetables.
Can't they make that shit with coffee? Couldn't they make if they have that? No, I'm saying for real though. Like
they don't have the infrastructure to get the coffee out as much.
Okay.
So a few people have come in and cultivated it, but like yeah, the roads just wash out. It'll be good on the way somewhere. The way back, I'm like, now you're in 1.5 feet of mud and you can't get through.
Mm-hmm.
Trucks get stuck all the time. The local villagers have to come running out, put a rope on, and just pull trucks out.
Yeah,
it's crazy how much everybody helps each other there.
Yeah, but
they don't really talk about Indonesians. And one time they were talking about going to Indonesia for something, and I just go, fuck Indonesia. And they all kind of like sheepishly laughed because they're kind of like over it, but also like we have read our history.
How far could you be over it anyway if they got independence in '99?
They apologized. They have a new leadership.
I get that, but the whole just argument for anybody of like get over it with anything and like it's just it's such a funny argument for stuff. Come on, get over it.
Yeah, you're right. They have gotten over for the most part though.
Well, that's good. It's good to get over it.
It's good for their inner peace, but still.
You have to want to get over it though.
40%. The people still alive with missing arms.
Yeah.
From that.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Tony Hawk was out when that shit was happening. The video game, not the skater. Coming in at number 4.
Is it number 4?
I believe so. Double check for me, but almost positive.
Okay, 1937, December 13th.
A magical
This one
year.
is not an official genocide, but I'm going to include it. It was not on the list, the Wikipedia list of genocides, but I remember it's one of my favorites. The rape of Nanjing. So when the Japanese, this is, I just said whatever the date was, I've forgotten already.
Mm-hmm.
The Japanese invaded China. No one was protecting China. They were a backwards military at the time. This is one of the reasons it's so powerful now. They lost and they had to pull back from Shanghai. And when they pulled back, they left Nanjing, a walled city, unguarded. They said if we already suffered a bunch of casualties from like fighting almost to a standstill with the Japanese for a while. If they didn't pull their forces back, they would have been annihilated. So they had to regroup. And then a bunch of people just said, okay, well, why don't you guys just be like local, whoever had ever served, fight for yourselves. The Japanese came in, instantly beat down the revolution. And then it's a walled city. They said, close the doors. No one's leaving. And they locked off this entire city. Mm-hmm. They killed 200,000 people in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, women, children.
Raped between 20 and 80,000 people.
No one spared.
No one spared. They went for it. 20,000 rapes is the conservative estimate, but they were like they went on a campaign of raping and murdering. And no one could.
How
get
many
out.
of them ladies were lying though? You know. But no, that's...
But I mean, also how many log in? Like, how do they even like?
Oh yeah.
They were killed right afterwards. A lot of them. So, yeah, it was tough because no one could flee. There was nobody could flee. And the Japanese were like, we're getting out of aggressions.
This is quick and effective, too. I mean, 6 weeks. That's
6 weeks.
Yeah.
Big walled city.
Japanese people are efficient.
It's like that time Reggie Miller
known
scored
for their
11
discipline.
points.
In no time against the Knicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Yeah.
But, man.
It's a tough one. You could go there now. There's a history of it. It's right outside Shanghai.
So they locked them in, right?
Lock the doors.
And then they
you just can't leave.
Yep. Yeah, exactly like that. And then they come in?
No, they came in and locked the doors behind them.
Oh, they came in and locked the doors behind them. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah. They didn't starve them out. They were like, what are you going to do? Use household
So it was
tools?
just a massacre, basically.
It was a massacre.
Just going around killing people.
Yeah. They offered, the Americans and the Germans offered a truce, like we should have a ceasefire. It was rejected. And they're like, nah, dude, we're here to get some shit done.
Yeah. And that was like, just like generations of wanting to do that, I assume.
Yeah. I mean, if even now, the Chinese hate the Japanese. They were brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hate them. There's a long-standing top 2 of the Asians. Ask any Asian, they'll tell you they're the top 2. Ask any Asian to rank the Asians. First, they'll be upset if they know they're on film or on Twitter or anything.
Sure.
But if you actually talk to them off stage and like when they can't be recorded, they will rank them for you, and it's always Japanese, Chinese, number 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, that goes without saying. You didn't even have to say that. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. What would be, of course, number 3 would be what? I'm saying it's a battle for 3.
Oh, yeah.
1 and 2 is, it's absolutely.
What?
I'm just completely agreeing with you. That's all.
With what's one or two?
China and Japan.
Yeah.
Whatever.
One or two. Yeah, exactly.
It's not even. Yeah.
And they'll get mad at you. Bloggers and people online will be mad at you. Yeah, like how could you rank people? Like no, they rank them. No. I'm going by their rankings. Obviously, the jungle Asians are lower. Everyone agrees with that. Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, Thailand. This is all from the Asian community. I'm not saying this is from the Asian community. This is what I've listened. I listened to them, and this is what they say, are lower. Then you have what they'll call white Asians, which are Vietnam. I don't know where they fall.
This feels like a lightning round of just top 9 Asians, real quick.
But Korea, China, Japan,
Taiwan.
Taiwan is China.
They're in there.
Yeah, Taiwan and Hong Kong are really just part of China.
Okay.
I'm trying to think where else. I'm forgetting something.
Sure.
But, those are the...
I'm just saying impact. That's all I'm saying.
Impact, too.
That's all. I'm not saying they're better people or anything like that. They're just...
What have they done?
More impactful.
Who knows anything about Laos?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it.
What
if you're from
Japanese
Kansas City, it's okay.
Continue to do for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Japanese people continue to help.
Yeah, exactly. They're just they're
putting in
above their numbers.
Yeah.
What are you?
Quarter Japanese.
That's good for if anybody gets mad at this.
Yeah.
Look, I do a fucking podcast with one of them.
Yeah.
How could I be?
No.
And
Smile.
we are superior.
But okay. Well, that one was pretty horrifying. Coming in at number 3.
Now this one I got to look up, but this one just sheer numbers.
Okay.
The Circassian genocide.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds old school.
It was old school.
Yeah.
Sounds like something like in Indiana Jones or something.
Yeah. During and after, this was Russian Empire's systematic mass murder, ethnic cleansing, and expulsion of 97% of the Circassian population. Around 800,000 to 1.5 million Circassians.
What's been their comeback? Where are they at now?
I don't think they came back.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't come back from something like that.
Yeah. Let's see what Circassian is.
97. That has to be the highest on your list. Yeah.
This looks like some kind of Arab.
Wow.
And
you know how Russia kind of overlaps with Arab?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, to modern day, they were exiled from their homeland in Circassia, which isn't around, to modern day Turkey and the rest of the
Russia
Middle
is
East.
so fucking big. Can they just stop? They're good. Stay where you at.
I don't think I think they're on a roll.
That's how empires work, though. You got to keep it going. Keep pushing.
It's massive. Like, enough.
So
1763 to 1864. So a nice long
101 years.
Yeah, nice long one.
Isn't it just like generations? It's like, especially then, people didn't live as long. You got like a grandfather, a father, and a grandson. All just,
great, even.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that too.
Several methods used by the Russian forces, such as impaling, and this is a tough one. This is what I mean. This is why it's as high as number 3, and it's a very little known. 97% is crazy high as a number.
Yeah.
Did your job. Impaling, tearing the bellies of pregnant women were reported.
I've never even heard of that before.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a,
Scientific experiments allow their soldiers to rape women. Oh, my gosh.
Who is that guy? That guy who does that and like goes home and sleeps at night? What's wrong with these people?
Hey, honey, pick one. Roe versus Wade or this. You know, you can't live on both sides of the fucking line. All right? Pick one.
That's true.
But,
only people that survived were the ones who were forced into exile, those who were hiding in marshes and caves, and in very rare cases, those who could make agreements with the Russians. Those are the ones who survived.
Holy shit. Dude, that baby one is really just like, it's a real mic drop.
It's real mic drop.
Like, I am...
We've never even heard of this one.
Disturbing.
Because who's going to tell the story? Do you have any Circassian friends?
No. Yeah, who's going to tell the story?
I think they come back every 17 years in Maryland. Deep cut. Only if I get somebody from the Delmarva Peninsula would get that.
Man. That's something. 97%. And I mean, like, stuff like that of like not just killing them.
In the history books? How did you know about this, Ari?
Looked it up for this pod, homework pod.
Yeah, it's not in the history books.
Some died from epidemics and starvation. Among the crowds of deportees were reportedly eaten by dogs after their deaths.
Oh my God. But again, you call it a homework pod. Look how much fun you're having.
This was a fun one. You have to say, what are you into?
Wait. Yeah.
9 is a big number. You're going to daunt a lot of people with 9. But this one, 9 wasn't enough.
No, it wasn't, was it? I mean, yeah. Well, you know, there's the effective standpoint, which was what we've talked about with like how many you get, but then like these people are just showing off, right? They're like the Harlem Globetrotters of
100 years.
Genocide.
Don't you think they won at like 25 years?
Yeah, they kept going. They're like, it's pretty much done. They're like, pretty much is the first loser.
And just finding new ways to do stuff. I feel like to get that, to do the thing of like ripping a baby out of I don't even know.
You have to hate them.
But there has to be some sort of like, they couldn't have been doing that to everybody.
You know, I was thinking today while I was doing this research on the shitter. You know how like in the movies with someone will be like to some guy who hates someone, he's like, I'm never gonna stop coming for you, and they were like, and they just fucking shoot him. That would be very hard. You can imagine it without actually putting yourself in the place, but just to be like, shut up and fucking murder somebody. Now you talk. It would be very, very hard to murder that one. You'd get on a roll, it'd become easier, but that first one.
Yeah, that's what they all say. The first one's the hardest.
The hardest.
The first cut is the deepest.
Yeah.
Again, pain is love, love is pain. Like hate is love. It's all connected. So like they're all deep things. But taking someone's life, yeah, that first one
might stay with you for a little bit. Did you ever see the? Oh, I'll get to this, but there's a movie.
You don't ever forget your first anything.
No.
Yeah, no.
Fair.
First love.
Murder, like taking the life of someone.
Comedy set.
Yeah.
Same.
Georgia was the only country to recognize the Circassian genocide.
Why is that? Do some people think it didn't exist?
Russia,
is it like that type
Russia
of thing?
actively denies it.
Really?
Classifies the events as a migration.
What?
They left.
That's downplaying, to say the least. What the fuck? And that's part of the pain.
On May
probably.
21st, Circassians all over the world protest against the Russian government.
Yeah,
especially in
not
cities with
acknowledging
large
it
Circassian
is-
populations such as Kayseri and Amman, Jordan. Oh wow, and Istanbul.
All right.
Man. Well, that's a needle drop. I think we're going to move on to number 2 now.
Number 2.
Mm-hmm.
This might surprise some people, but just so you know, top 9. Everybody in the top 9 that's a big one, right?
Sure.
The Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
It's the granddaddy of them all.
But it's not because it's number 2.
It's where you start and stop when you're talking about Holocausts. And the Rose Bowl's not the number 1 thing either, but it's still the granddaddy.
Sure.
6 million people, total numbers, top. And that is only the Jews in the Holocaust. 2 other Holocausts popped up on the list, the Wikipedia list of Holocaust. It was the German atrocities against the Russians and Nazi crimes against the Polish. So if we're just talking about Nazis, they're the number 1 genociders.
The most hateful.
By far. They have 3 in the top list. It's like Dukes during the fucking draft this year.
Yeah.
How did that team not win the national championship, or at least the ACC? I'll tell you why. Because UNC stepped up.
Absolutely. It's all relative again, man. And
Yeah.
with what I'll say about this one, too, of like, remember when we were talking about how, I think on number 7, they tried to call it the Holocaust? What I find funny about you Jewish people is like, this will never happen again. And it's happened again a bunch of fucking times. Just that's funny to me.
Over and over again. I think when they say never again, they say never again to
The
Jews.
Jewish people,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But shouldn't it be for everybody?
It should be, but I think we have to change that.
Just the acknowledgement of it is like, it should be never again for Jewish people.
Yeah.
Or anybody. But yeah, it's a very funny thing.
Yeah, I've also been to parts of Europe. It's like the memorials, Israel. I don't know what you would call this genocide. It was all over Europe, multi-country, which just shows how effective it was.
Yeah.
Multi-country. As they invaded, first they were like, Germans, you better get out of Germany. And many did. And then they're like, we'll move to Hungary. And then they took over Hungary, and they're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And then
You're just not playing fair now.
You're in Germany. Like,
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah.
To leave and then they expand on you again.
I imagine like the other countries like watching the war, and as it's like coming towards them, like no. Oh,
Yeah.
us.
Yeah,
Like
probably.
you know,
the
don't.
Blitzkrieg, they rolled over countries.
It's crazy.
So 6 million. What's the percentage on that?
Um,
Because we've been dealing in percentages.
all 6 million Jews that were killed were Jewish.
Um,
Of total Jews, that's a good question.
yeah.
Let's see.
Just that because
Europe,
Yeah.
right? Total European Jews killed in the Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. What do you think?
I don't know because there's still so many Jews.
Yeah,
So like 50% maybe.
that is a big number.
Yeah, that seems like. But I mean, 6 million people is a lot of people too.
6 million.
especially
Like,
back
how many
then.
were there?
Yeah.
approximately 9.5 million Jews lived in Europe in 1933.
Oh,
Okay.
so like 70%.
So 6 million.
And out of 9 million.
Okay. So yeah, pretty high numbers there.
Pretty high numbers.
Oof. That's a high number for sure.
And to summarize
about two-thirds.
It started.
To summarize it.
Like
give
if
us
you
your
had
60-second take on the Holocaust.
But why
right
did, like we were talking about, like purpose, cause, reasoning.
They hated the Jews.
Just that.
So some of it was a minister of propaganda was like, he didn't hate the Jews. He's like, we need someone to go against that really drives people. We just need someone to hate. Hatred drives people a lot better than love. And so we're doing it now in America, but just not at the point of this violence. But it's definitely headed in that direction.
It's the play, yeah.
Everything's cyclical.
Yeah. If you could find someone to hate, that drives people. So they hated Trump more than anything, or they hate Republicans because they couldn't just stop it at Trump. So now they hate Republicans. And so then it's like you'll see little pockets of violence against them. It's crazy, but it's like they rile people up to be a rally cry. People didn't vote for Biden this election. They voted against Trump.
Yeah.
That's why it was the number one turnout, I think, of any election.
Hey, let's stay focused. Holocaust.
Yeah, Holocaust. So like, good point. So like, he was like, let's hate the Jews. They're these outsiders.
And people did already hate them. They were
Yeah.
because you can't just create that.
Right.
It's
They
not like
did
a
already.
thing
They were
of-
not liked already.
Yeah.
So then it was just like, it all comes back to the Jews. We're dominant. We stick to ourselves. Two problems for people. When you do well and when you're like separatist, when you're insular. And so it was just it wasn't like the first time Jews were attacked. The pogroms all over Russia and
What are you, jealous?
Poland and whatever. Yeah. And then they just, after Kristallnacht, it was the first night, they were like, hey, we're not going to prosecute you guys for this. And they started smashing windows and shit. Yeah. And then they were like, they kind of looked and they're like, wait, there's no pushback on this? And then it was just on.
That's another thing, too, of just like the French word that sounded nice. Like Kristallnacht, obviously horrifying, but it sounds kind of nice.
It does. It really does.
That's not kitschy.
Crystal
kind
Night.
of, or, yeah.
Crystal Night. That sounds like something they'd do in Ojai.
More
Yeah,
propaganda.
Propaganda.
Like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I guess that's part of it, too. Maybe that's why it was called that.
Night of the Crystals.
But yeah, man, I'll
Sounds
tell you,
Harry
you guys
Potter-ish.
had.
Yeah, it sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magical.
Well, Harry Potter's got the fucking bankers.
The one that got me that I wanted to get back to is right. Those are so clearly Jews.
I mean, holy hell.
Is the shoes. When you go to the Holocaust Memorial in DC, when you see all the shoes, that really hit me because each of those shoes is like that's a person stepped into those, and now they're not there anymore. It was just like it became really real in that moment.
The moment they took those shoes off and knowing their fate and destiny, like moments before.
I think they took them off after. I don't know. Maybe
no,
they did.
before they
really?
burned them, so they didn't smell. It didn't smell like
Before
rubber.
they burned them. Right.
Because weren't they saying, hey, you're going to the shower? You wouldn't wear shoes to the shower, probably, right?
Oh, right. That.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
The
Yeah, they
shower.
trick them. They'd be online.
Yeah.
For
I just thought about when Larry David wore shoes from that in a recent episode.
From what?
From the shoes at the Holocaust Memorial. He was there, and someone spilled on his shoe, so he
So he
took.
grabbed suit. Oh
Yeah.
my God. It does seem disrespectful, but also like to who? To who? I need shoes.
Well, that's the whole
Why
thing
should they go
of-
to waste?
When I was thinking of top 9 Jews today,
have to be
so
on there.
many of them are comedians.
Yeah.
And I mean that's
I would not have. I would have realized it would be all comedians and then gone. Oh, we got to go a different direction.
yeah,
No,
because
Chomsky.
but that's I think what makes Jewish people so great of being able to. Of course, Larry David should be able to make that joke. Why the fuck wouldn't he be able to do that?
Yeah.
and
they're taking this
that's-
lightly. It's like
Yeah.
correct.
And it just goes back to Mel Brooks' "Springtime for Hitler." So do you guys know how to laugh at something that is horrible after the fact?
We do know how to laugh at horrible stuff.
Yeah, the Holocaust kind of. You never really blame the Holocaust for modern stand-up comedy.
But it really did have a part.
Yeah, absolutely, it really
Let's
did.
see. Oh, these different countries. Slovakia, 75% of Jewish population killed. Bohemia and Moravia, 66%. Didn't even know those were countries.
Yeah,
Denmark, 1% of the population was killed. Denmark stepped up.
We talked about psychological.
Finland,
I think about the
0%.
tattoos that they used to do, the numbers, tattooing numbers on them,
Tattooing numbers.
having to hide and being scared. All that is psychological. It's brutal.
Yeah.
Greece, 87% of the Jews were killed. Hungary, my people a little bit from there in Romania, 69% of the people. My dad's a survivor.
Wow.
Poland, 90% of Polish Jews wiped out.
Yeah, that's That's got to be the highest, right?
Romania 50%. So I was in a tough spot there.
Mm-hmm. Man.
Yeah, that's the highest. 90%.
I'm gonna play Barbara
Overall,
Streisand's Memories over this
60%.
part. Mm-hmm.
Memory. That's not bad.
Memories all alone in my. That one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, coming in at number 1.
What could it be?
Number 1, best genocide. So let me see which ones I've been to here. The Queensland's Aboriginal Genocide.
Mm-hmm.
Missed Armenian. Never went there. Did go to Turkey, but whatever. The Rohingya Genocide. Visited Shaw State. East Timor. Rape of Nanjing. I went to the town of Nanjing. The Holocaust. I'll count me as being there. And number 1, I also was at the Cambodian Genocide. Pol Pot, the Khmer Rouge. You heard of any of these people?
Yeah, I've heard of Pol Pot.
Yeah, it's wild.
Mm-hmm.
It's the People's Revolution of some level. It's not the People's Revolution, but it was tied in with Mao. He really funded them really well.
That's what I was wondering. Mao Zedong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this was the CPK, the Communist Party of Khmer of Cambodia.
Now these were the highest numbers, right?
Yeah. Let's see what I have written down here. 33% of the entire Cambodia was killed. 99% of the Cambodian Viets.
What?
Yeah, so some level of like ethnic cleansing, but really it was a lot of like fuck all the rich people.
Yeah.
And they just started in villages, taking over people. It would be like the fucking Khmer Rouge are coming, and you just have in the middle of the night you just run.
Mm-hmm.
They would just come out of the trees and they would just start slaughtering everybody. Pol Pot, one of the most interesting leaders, had a lot of. He was a smart guy, studied in France, and
You have to be smart to like be the number 1 genocide. Like, you're not an idiot.
Mao sent him a list of books he should read. Sent him all these books, and some of them were by Marx, and some of them by Lenin, and some just
chicken
like
soup for the
chicken with soul. Yeah.
Some R&D.
Yeah, and he really just studied on who should be in power and who should not, and then he came to the realization that you need to do this through violence because they're not going to give over power. And then one day, Phnom Penh, the capital, was just like not worried about it, like it's villager shit. Mm-hmm. And then one day, tanks rolled into Phnom Penh, and it was over. Mm-hmm. They had tanks, and it was just like you're either with us or you're murdered. And anyone who even tries, he would kill the children of his enemies. Because like they're gonna grow up to be an enemy. They're gonna find out what happened to them. Better kill the children. He had a saying that I love. Better, and this is done now a lot too. Better kill an ally by mistake than to spare an enemy by mistake.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're that type of dude.
Yeah.
Take no chances.
Take no chances. It's very different than the better 1,000 guilty men go free than one innocent man go to.
It's the other side of the coin.
It's the
Quite
other side of the
opposite.
coin.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're headed now as a group, where it's like, we've written off some guys, but so what? You know?
I always think of like school, right? Like when I went to school, the way that they like present history to you in like grade school and high school is like all these bad things happen and we like overcame them.
Yeah.
And we're still not perfect, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
But it's really not that. It's really just like it's like a circle that like just like you go up, but then you go down.
Yeah.
It's not like up, down. It's like always a circle.
You just justify your behavior.
Yeah.
You learn to justify your behavior, and then it's like, no, only the behavior is what matters. Then eventually, like, this is good. Let's let's have gay rights. It's fine. Okay, we got gay rights. But this guy stood against it. It was like, well, let's talk to him. Well, let's actually beat him. Let's actually fucking fire him. Let's get And then it comes back to like, all these people, fuck them.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Fuck them. They supported this. And like, whoa, not.
Or Madonna said she wanted to blow up the White House.
Yeah.
This weekend, which is just
Really?
the rally. She said blow up the White House, which like, okay, you can, but like I don't know. There's a lot of
Isn't that the wrong building? Blown up. Senate House.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, it's crazy stuff. And Pol Pot, Mao Zedong, they shook up the world one way or the other.
23,000 mass graves have been found so far. Over 23,000. So they don't really know the full number because they were just buried.
So,
it's
but
over
in
6
that
million, though,
grave,
isn't it?
I
There
don't
are
think so.
thousands of bodies.
I thought it was. That's what my dad always told me as he pet my hair and told me about Mao Zedong. I thought that they were, and I think partly it's because of that their population was so high.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I thought. I thought someone said Mao Zedong killed the most people.
It's not Mao. We're talking about Pol Pot.
So Mao Zedong I thought was involved though.
He funded them.
Okay.
So if you want to include that in his numbers, okay.
I got you. Never mind. Sorry, I was confusing it.
Yeah, this is Cambodia.
Well, okay. Then I guess that's the one I'm saying you missed.
Funding war is you're part of the problem, though.
Yeah, sure, right, exactly. But a lot of times he would just starve people, wouldn't let people have. It's like I don't know if it was a genocide exactly. Let's see, total numbers. It didn't go on that long. Oof. 1.5 to 2 million total deaths.
Okay.
The killing fields is a fun place to loose word to go visit. They have these extermination areas, or they call them prisons. I think 20,000+ people went through these prisons. 7 came out of the prisons.
How many? What was the first number?
20-something thousand.
And not how many?
7 came out.
7, like
they were prisons.
not double digits. 7.
They have, this is the hardest one. They have this, they found these things, later because they would just abandon them and left, when it was time. So and these were real villagey kind of shit. And the way the landscape is and the amount of like humidity in the air, it gets overrun with trees pretty fast. Like look at Angkor Wat, it gets run over by trees fast. So they couldn't even find them all. The Holocaust, there was like buildings that they made, out of stone. So when they found out, it was like, oh, they're discovering what these were. Like, what is this? And they find bones. They've just found a lot of bones. And
like probably these tiny living quarters with trees going through it.
Yeah.
My God.
And they just had like skulls and skulls and skulls. And then they found a tree, and it was this weird tree that it went like up and shot out to the right and then back in. And it was this weird hook in the tree. And they're like, why is that? And they started looking through the ground. They found bone fragments in the ground, but the more they looked at it, they were baby bone fragments. They would pick up. So they didn't have a lot of munitions, and they wanted to save bullets as best they could. From a Jewish perspective, I get it. Why waste?
Yeah.
So these military people would pick up the babies by their ankles and just pound them against a tree. Pound their skulls against a tree 3-4 times until they were dead. Toss them.
My God.
Do it in front of the mosque.
So like a fish or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and so their skulls would just fucking explode, and they were just all over the ground right near
their
these
little
trees.
soft skulls.
It was one of the cutest parts of any genocide.
Well, folks, I don't think there's anything else to say. I think that's a perfect way to end this podcast.
No. Here's why it's number one also.
Go ahead.
Pol Pot, the leader, as opposed to all these other leaders, lived on for 20-something years in Cambodia.
Wow.
He lived till he was 70-something.
Literally got away with murder.
Got away with genocide. You see this? You see
murder.
I think the movie The Killing Fields or whatever. These guys are going over what they did. There was a big fucking a hollowed ground, like it just went down a few steps. They would slice throats there because all the blood would collect in this fucking area. And they were talking about it. I was like, yeah, I remember we did that. I haven't seen you in forever, buddy. And then they're like talking about what they did, and it slowly hits them what they actually did, and they're like, oh, these were people. But Pol Pot lived. They said he was poisoned, but 20 years later, after the end of the Khmer Rouge.
Man.
So he still led a lot of people and
he
lived
must
a great
have had
life.
some likable qualities.
He must have.
Because, he would have been taken out.
Taken out instantly. Like, oh, try for his crimes. They're like, no, we're not trying him. You're good to live over there.
Yeah.
Don't come around Phnom Penh. It's going to be annoying, or Siem Reap.
Yeah, well, that is a good reason why he's number one. He did what he meant to do, and he did what a lot of people don't do in that position. They live.
They transitioned into in the booth.
So never give up on your dreams, folks. It's never too late. This was a fucking crazy episode of Top 9 Podcast.
I would say the only way you can do these episodes or talk about this stuff in general is to not let it in.
Sure.
If you let it in, it instantly becomes untalkable, unjokeable. And to whatever people go like, I can't believe you took this so lightly. It's just a question of them not letting it in.
Yeah.
You can make jokes about the Holocaust. Not after you go to the Holocaust Memorial. You're unable to.
I think it's crazier not to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like what? We're not allowed to talk about things that have happened?
Yeah.
Whether
nuts.
It was
Never
100 years ago, 200 years ago, yesterday, happening right now.
Well, the argument is we're saying it on a comedy podcast.
But everything's
yeah,
and that's questionable.
That's what we do. Yeah, it was a tough one.
Yeah, no, it was great. Ari, where can the people find you?
I have a podcast called Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank. I have a new special coming out early this fall, I think, late summer, early fall. September is what I mean, and
it's called Jew, right?
It's called Jew. September, October, and And yeah, you can find me at arishafir.com, Ari Shaffir on YouTube. Just look up Ari Jewish comedian. You'll find me.
Yeah, I do see like an Anthony Bourdain style show for you of like traveling the world of like these type of things, horrible atrocities.
Atrocities.
Yeah.
The atrocities tour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Atrocities. I don't know. What sounds there?
Ari atrocities. I don't know.
Ari atrocities. Ari atrocities.
Adele.
Yeah. I want to first say peace and love, everybody. Right?
Less genocide. More patricide.
Follow me on Instagram, Adele_Carollo. Follow Top 9. Subscribe. Say hello in the comments.
Do that. Cassidy Comedy. My second album, Life After Funny, pre-sale goes on sale today. Comes out July 15th. Audio. YouTube July 12th. Thank you, Ari, for coming.
Nice. Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Of course. Bye, guys.
Some later.